G'day people, this is Monster Dad. Welcome back to the single player survival series of Space Engineers. Last episode, we built this little beast, Miner 1. I think I might go with Chewie for this one, the name. Probably a little bit better than Miner 1. As you can see, the ejectors are now flame red, or Boy Racer ejectors. I did put a bit of cladding on it, added the company colours and the company ribbing. Looks a little bit better than it did last time. Yeah, not perfect, but yeah, it does the job, definitely. And it can carry quite a lot. I had about 200,000 units of ores in this, and it handled itself pretty well, so I'm quite pleased with that. Yeah, so there we go. This is going to be a short episode today, and a one-off one, because I had a couple of requests to show a horizontal miner build. So I thought I'd do that. So what I'm going to do is nip into creative mode, build a horizontal miner, show you how to use that, and then I'm just going to delete the build when I'm done, because I'm not going to keep it. So yeah, let's get to it. First of all, I'm going to go into creative. Remember how to do that. That's it. So we enable creative tools, and that should do it. So first of all, let me clear my hotbar. I don't need my tools when I'm in creative mode. Let's grab some stuff. So it's the usual kind of stuff to begin with. Landing gear to build an arm that you can build onto, and then the usual kind of stuff. I'm going to build this vanilla as well, not modded, so it'll just be the ordinary vanilla thrusters on this one. So reactor, some thrusters, cargo. I'm just going to add one medium cargo container to this, but you know, I mean, that could be adjusted to your needs. Some conveyors, still need ejectors and sorters. So what have we got at the moment? Reactor, thrusters, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Cockpit would be useful. Okay, let's put some stuff down. Oh, colour am I on? Let's go to some kind of ordinary colour. That landing gear is way far away, isn't it? If you need to move stuff closer to you or further away from you when you're building, you press Alt. Sorry, not Alt. Control and use your mouse wheel, and you can bring the stuff closer. There we go. It's a bit better. It's a bit of space to build. That should do it. Remove that. Yeah, because I'm in creative, these are just being built fully formed, these blocks. And as I said, I'll just delete this build when I'm done, because I won't use it. Especially since I've cheated and gone in creative to build it. Okay, so that's our usual arm to build upon. This time I'm going to extend this leg a little bit further, because I'm going to start off this time with the cockpit. Boom. Get some drills, and this time the drills are going to go straight onto the cockpit, right way around, so that there's a connector at the top of the drill, and I'm going to connect that directly to the cockpit. Put the other drills with their side connectors onto each other, and that way the drills are now automatically connected through the system. So any conveyors we put on the back of the cockpit will be connected through to those drills, or you could just continue the connections through here if you wanted. This is a very basic build. You know, don't feel that this is the only way you can build this. Modify it as you see fit. Let's get the gyro in my hotbar, otherwise I'll end up forgetting that. Again, I'm not going to put a battery on this. You could certainly put a couple of batteries and some solar power if you were short of materials for a large reactor. So I'm going to put those there again so we can connect. Did I just delete a drill? I did, idiot. I'll put that back in a minute. When you're in creative, if you've got a block in hand and right click on another block, it deletes it. So yeah, so I'm connecting the back of the cockpit through to the system here. And then I'm going to add my reactor to the center one. Just get that drill in hand that I just stupidly deleted and put that back. There we go. I like to clear my hotbar as I build. When I'm finished with something, get rid of it. Okay, I'm going to add some uranium to this now. Otherwise, I won't be able to put the uranium in because there'll be no power through the conveyor systems. So the way I'm going to do that is Shift F10 back into my creative tools and just drop some uranium ingots directly into that container that I've got highlighted. So that's it, we got some power. Okay, so the back of that I'm going to add a medium cargo container, and this time I want the big connector facing the bottom because I'm going to add the connector to the bottom of this vessel like so. So we can get rid of that and that. So there's your basics so far. You've got your power, you've got your cargo container. You could certainly add another cargo container to this if you wanted to, straight and just elongate this slightly. Completely your choice. You've just got to be a little bit careful with the horizontal miners, with the mass, because you do end up using a lot more thrusters than you do on one of the vertical miners. So now I'll start adding the other bits and pieces. So to start off with, I'm going to add a large thruster at the rear. Let's put it up one. And the profile you've got to think about with the vertical miner, the profile you need to keep everything within is this frame that the drills are on. Because when you dig down, you dig through a shaft and you don't want things sticking out beyond that frame, otherwise they'll get knocked off and damaged. Exactly the same principle with a horizontal miner. Like I said before, the drills will dig beyond their profile, so a little bit up above and outside of the profile is fine, but you don't want to go too far, otherwise you're going to start knocking pieces off and damaging things. So I'm going to one large upwards thruster should be enough to handle the mass of this one, but again it's trial and error. Once you start adding more cargo, you need to think about adding more thrust, and it's a case of testing. Once you've built it, test it. If you feel like you need more thrust, there should still be enough space to put that on. In fact, do you know what? One isn't going to be enough. What I'm going to do is add one either side of this, because we have the profile room to add these. Better safe than sorry. Yeah, you're definitely going to need to keep it off the ground, especially when it's full of ore. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. What we'll do now is we'll add our ejector system, and we can add that directly out the back of this. So what do we want? Let's add that, and then we'll bring 2 ejectors out. We'll put one here and one the other side. Okay. Sorter. Ejector. I don't know why it makes that hissing sound and expels air every time you put something on these. I guess it looks pretty cool though. So, sorter. And boom, ejector. Let's get rid of those. So, effectively, that's the whole thing plumbed in now. Balls will go through the drills, through the cockpit, through there, into your cargo box. Stone can continue out the back. So, and you've got your connector down the bottom to plug onto your base and empty it when you're done. So that's really is the plumbing sorted on this one. Not very complicated at all. Now what you can do is start adding the other essentials, like thrust for a start. What I do now is add, I add small thrusters now because you don't really have the profile space to start adding large thrusters anywhere else. So in this case, I'm going to be keeping these blocks up to about here, and when we get rid of this, we'll remove it from about there. So I'm going to use that under there for the reverse thrust. Did I just say thrust? It's 5 o'clock in the morning. I'll use that as an excuse. Now you will need quite a lot of reverse thrust on these miners. In fact, I'm going to put 7. And the reason for that is because you normally dig, especially when you're getting down to the ores, you're going to be digging down at a 45-degree angle at best, possibly steeper. And when you're trying to get back out of the hole you've dug, you'll be flying backwards at that kind of angle as well. So you do need a decent amount of reverse thrust on these things. You just got to be very careful with them because it's probably the best place to put them is under here, but they can get damaged and knocked off if you're not careful and start bumping yourself on the ground. So we've got our reverse thrust. Let's stick some forward thrust, and if we stick some ordinary blocks under here, gone. Should be able to put them there. I know. Yeah, blocks need to come out one more. Didn't want it there, did I? Okay. Yeah, just there. Between 3 and 5 should be enough because this will end up just being more as manoeuvring thrust than anything. The key areas you need thrust are reverse, up and side to side, and I'll show you why when we start mining with it. So the side to side thrust, what I'm thinking we'll do is tuck it away under here. Do we want it there? You know what, they should fit. Yeah, it should do it. So, side to side, I would say you need at least 3 in each direction. Just trying to get it centered. It's not going to get centered, so let's pop it there. Oh, down there. It's not even. Sorry, my OCD. Yeah, I should do it. Okay, And again, if you find that you're struggling a bit with 3, you can always add another one. So let's release this beast. Okay, so far so good. Do you know what? I'm going to put another thruster on there anyway. I don't think 3 is quite enough. There we go. We'll go with 4. And then what you can do is just neaten it up a little bit with blocks as you see fit. Completely up to you how you end up decorating it. Let's put a row under there just for neatness. Make it look like it's got a bit more sturdiness. Yeah. So we've got all our thrust. Again, I don't really bother with downwards thrust because there's... I just said thrust again, didn't I? I don't really bother with downward thrust because gravity can take care of that. Obviously, if you're in space and you're using a miner there, you need thrust in every single direction. So that should be adequate thrust now for everything we need. Possibly need more rear thrust, but it should be okay with that. So what else do we want on? We want some gyros, and we want... You probably want an ore detector and an aerial. Aerial so you can find where you've left it. An ore detector because, you know, a mining ship. Should be able to fit those either side there quite neatly. Boom boom. Let's get some gyros on before I forget. Gyros, where are they going to fit? They might fit nicely under there. You'll probably only need 2. But you've certainly got space to add more if you feel like it's not quite responsive enough. And that's it. There's your horizontal miner. So what I think we'll do is go and test it out. Obviously you can stick some cladding on it and make it look pretty, which is definitely what I would do. But as a basic miner, that will work. So yeah, as you can see, you end up using a lot more thrusters than you do with the vertical miner. That's one of the drawbacks. And they both have drawbacks in their own ways. You know, again, it comes down to personal preference more than anything. I'm just going to quickly set up the ejectors because they will be used as we mine. So, train all, whitelist, stone. Right, there's the other one. Train all and whitelist, stone. And the ejectors, where are you? Begin with E, don't you? Throw out, collect all. And we'll just go down and set those up as a group. And turn them on and off. Might as well set up the thrusters as a group. So we can turn them on and off. Set up our G menu. Okay, groups. What do we want in first? We want... why do the drills come on twice? Sometimes it does this, just in case of making sure you got the right ones. Yeah, that's all 3 working. Groups. Let's put thrusters on next. On and off. Ejectors. On and off. And then stick your connector in to switch lock. I always pop the ore detector in my hotbar as well, so I can switch that on and off, so it's not using power when I don't need it. And that's about it really. So leave the ore detector on at the moment. We will turn the ejectors off at the moment. Get a decent view and give it a quick test. So checking the power in bottom right, Yeah, stacks of power, so that should be more than enough. But you know what? I think it probably needs one more gyro. It's manoeuvring okay when it's empty, but when that's full, that could be a bit slow to manoeuvre. Excuse me. And the thing with these miners, when they are full, you need to be able to handle them properly. Perfect. Okay, let's get in it and do some digging. Let's dig a hole. Diggy diggy. Alright, I'm going to go up to where that iron is, up there. I'm not going to keep anything I collect here. Like I said, once I finish this, I'll delete it. What's the ore detector set at? Yeah, see, these small ship ore detectors, the vanilla ones, are only 50-metre range. Same as your hand drill, which I think is silly really. Should be a little bit more than that, which is why I use the Azimuth's one and set it to 100. Right, let's find some iron under here, because I think this was just one big patch of iron over here. There you go, we've got some there. So the secret to using these is you need to dig downwards towards the deposit. So find where your deposit is, get over it, decide which angle you're going to dig in from, and I'll dig in from over there since I'm pointing this way. This case of heading, I just damaged it already, look. I think I have actually damaged something, but oh well, should still work. So yeah, I'm going to aim sort of down like this towards it. Now with the horizontal mine, I'll see your navigation ball on the bottom right with a grey line. You've got the two white lines either side of the circle that is your horizon, you know, and if you turn sideways, the grey watermark, as I like to think of it, moves, tip up, tip down. This is your friend, this navigation ball. It's absolutely essential when you're mining like this, because you're not going to have a horizon to go by. So let's move back a bit. Might as well pop the ejectors on now, because they stay on permanently when you're digging with this. Let's go to that view and let's start digging down. So it's a right click drill initially, so you can make yourself a nice big wide hole that you can get in and out of. I didn't put any spotlights on this. We should be okay. So as you can see, you can dig a big hole, and you need that big hole. Don't left click drill into the ground when you're heading toward your resource. You'll never get back out again. And when you're using your right click and your left click drills, when you're flying one of these, it does move the ship around. So like I said, once you get past the horizon, you can't judge where your ship is relative to the horizon. That navigation ball is absolutely essential, because you need to keep yourself level. Which is easy at this bit, a bit more difficult once you get to your resource. You know what, I am going to have to put a spotlight on this. Bear with me a second. It's always something I forget. Otherwise you're not going to see what we're doing when we're in. Let's... one there. One should be enough for now. I'd put one either side if I was building it, but that one should suffice for what we're doing. Okay, so what were we doing? We were right click drilling down to our resource at a slight angle. And you're also the horizon line in front of your head-up display. That and the navigation ball, they are the two things that you really need to fly by. I've tipped these over so many times. Are we at the iron yet? Yes, we are. Okay, once we're at the iron, we change to left-click drilling, and then just dig out the iron. Now you're digging stone as well, so it's really difficult to get a third-person view when you're inside a hole. But I can assure you the ejectors are chucking out the stone as we're digging now that we've got them on. And because they're sticking out the back of the ship, they shouldn't be damaging anything. Now, as you're spinning around digging like this, as you can see my horizon bar at the front there and the navigation ball, it tips. So you've got to constantly try and keep yourself flat. And this is why you need decent sideways thrusts on these horizontal miners as well. And then just carry on moving in, get some more. Keeping yourself nice and flat. And diggy digging. Now what you could do, and what I would normally do actually, and I didn't do this, is put a camera on the rear of the mining vessel, because now we've finished, we need to get out of the hole we just made. First of all, we need to make sure, because we've been moving side to side, we need to make sure we actually have the rear of the ship facing the exit, and then back out. Another way to do it is just dig round in a circle until you're this way, and this is where you would, if you were going to do this way, you would need to make sure you had good rear thrust as well. At the moment I haven't put much ore into this, so it's easy to do. But if you're going to do it this way and come out the holes, you most definitely need to put more rear thrust than those three that I've put on. And there you go, you're out of the hole. And you can see all the stone down at the bottom of the hole there that the ejector's got rid of. So ejector's off, and then you can head back and just empty your stuff. So let's have a look at the inventory. So we've got 27, that little, yeah, only a little bit of digging there. Oh no, we've got 26k in the container as well. So we've got over 50k of stone, I keep saying stone, iron, and all the stone has been chucked out as we were digging. So again, you know, pros and cons, completely up to you. These are probably easier to build than the vertical miners, but a little bit more tricky to use. Once you get the hang of them though, they're really good. Again, like I said, purely personal preference. And I can already feel it handling a lot worse now that it has 50k of stone inside it. So there you go. Horizontal mining. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is bin this one, look at it, press Ctrl X and delete. Oops, I'm trying to get out of. There we are. Remove my creative mode, otherwise I'll end up forgetting and I'll start building something when we get back to the series. There you go. Chewy, yeah, because it chews up the ground. Excuse me. Since we're on that Star Wars theme, rather than Recon 1, let's give it a proper droid name. We'll call that R1. And this one, Sort of reminds me of Darth Vader's helmet apart from the orange stripes. So maybe we'll call this Vader. Yeah, let's stick to a Star Wars theme, I think, with the names for our planetary vehicles. Yeah, that'll do. Got to get a bit of Star Wars reference in there, haven't you? Definitely. Okay, thanks for watching. Bit of a one-off episode, this one. Not really doing anything with the base or the actual series. Just wanted to show you a horizontal mine build and how to use it. For those of you that already know how to do that and to use them, we'll get on with the series in the next episode. And for those of you that found that useful, please press the thumbs up button. Please subscribe for more episodes, and I will see you all later.